2013, the Lagos State Office of the Public Defender handled 218 cases alone of physical child abuse. It is 2014 now, and in the month of January alone, 31 cases of physical child abuse were reported to the Office of the Public Defender. So far this year, 881 petitions on different complaints have been received by the office, prompting its director to say that in recent times, more mothers and guardians are physically and emotionally abusing their children and wards. Well, hello and welcome. This is 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajetumobi. And so the Office of the Public Defender was created by the former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in July 2000 to provide free legal services to the underprivileged members of the society. Though it is an office under the Ministry of Justice, it was carved out of the Directorate for Citizens' Rights, an agency that evolved from a complaint center set up by a former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in the state, Omotola. And in line with the Lagos State government's policy on access to justice for all, it formally became an agency of the state government under the OPD law of 2003 as amended. So join me after the break. I'm counting down 60 minutes with Omotola Rotimi, the person who's been the director of the Office of the Public Defender since 2008. Welcome back. Welcome, Mrs. Rotimi. Thank you very much for coming on the program today.
Thank you.
I remember that in 2012, the first time I met you on the pages of the newspaper, you had complained, you raised the alarm about rising cases of child rape.
That's right.
It's 2014 now. Would you say it has reduced or it's increasing?
It is increasing in two ways.
Yes.
One, there is more awareness.
Right.
So people are speaking
Out about it now.
Out about it now. So the number of people actually coming out to talk about it is more than what it used to be before. In fact, before it was hardly did people ever come out to talk at all.
Why do you think people don't talk about such things?
The social stigma. Nobody wants to be pointed at that, oh, there goes the girl that was raped.
Right.
There goes the family where a girl was raped.
Right.
Nobody wants a pointing finger. So the social stigma was one. And this social stigma transcends from our cultural beliefs, myths, you know, the social conception of everything that, oh, for you to have been raped, you must be a bad girl.
Yes, even though it's a child.
Even though it's a child, you asked for it.
No, because you see, what you're saying now is so unbelievable. Because even when adult females are raped, people tend to blame their mode of dressing.
Exactly.
Or the fact that, what were you doing in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Exactly.
So I'm surprised that that accusation is also applicable to children. Why
it is applicable to children is that it is not even the child, because don't forget that the child is still innocent.
Yes.
The child does not know whether it is a social stigma or anything. But it is the parents. You have a case where an uncle or a cousin living in the same house as the girl that was raped the girl, and the father is telling the mother, go and take care of your child. And is the father, the biological father? The biological father, yes, saying, go and take care of your child. They don't want anybody to know about it.
Do you think it's because people think sexual intercourse is a normal thing anyway between consenting adults?
Adults, yeah.
So maybe they don't want to criminalize something they think the girl will do later in life anyway when she is an adult. Do you think that may be the reason?
No, necessarily. I think it's just the selfish part of the parents, really, honestly, because oh, I'm a businessman, well respected in the society. It's unheard of that my daughter was raped because why? It puts a stain on my personality. So it's part of an ego thing. It puts a stain. So it becomes like a taboo. And then also a myth that people just think, oh, it's unheard of.
Yes.
It is not done. And then for your girl to have been raped, it means that your girl is wayward. Who is going to marry this daughter later on if everybody knows that she's been raped? So you see, all those social concerns are most of the time is even the concern of the parents more than the child. I think what will probably affect the child is probably the trauma, the psychological bits, which even the parents, they don't bother to deal with. And that is why you find these girls later on, they either turn out to be trans. They turn out to be prostitutes. They turn out to go and become members of cults.
Because they've accepted the fact that they must be wayward.
Exactly. That people said, I'm bad. I've been blamed for it. I must be bad for it to have happened to me. I must have been a naughty girl. I must be the child of the devil. And then, you know, because of that, and rather than parents now assisting the child psychologically to go through the trauma and be with her, holding her hands to say, don't worry, it is not your fault, and so that she can go on with her life, they put all the blame on her. They leave the person who did the act for their own selfish reasons. I don't want to be stigmatized. I don't want the stain to be in my family. I'm trying to protect the girl so that in future she can have a husband. But then you see, if the society accepts that, look, it is not her fault if she was raped at the age of 2. What does a 2-year-old girl know, for crying out loud?
How can a 2-year-old be wayward?
How can a 2-year-old be wayward? How can a 40-day-old baby be wayward? We have seen cases of a 40-day-old. Yes, Angela. 40-day-old that was fiddled with. And then what does our society ascribe it to? There is for ritual purposes. They must have done it for ritual purposes. What do you mean by they are doing it for ritual purposes?
Mrs. Rotimi, when you get a man who defiles a 40-day-old baby, what is his reason for doing so?
Angela, to be honest, that man is sick. As far as I'm concerned, he's a pedophile. He's sick. Because I don't know what could, because you see, when these people are taken, when we go to the police station and they ask them questions, they are caught, they always say it is the devil. The devil is sitting down in hell, sleeping. And you went to wake him up. And then you went to wake up the devil to give you work to do. Obviously, somebody like that has to be examined, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, who rapes a child? Is it ordinary people? I'm trying to paint a picture here. Do they look scary?
A sick person. No. You'll find out that even when a father can defile his own child.
And he looks normal.
And he looks normal to you on the streets. But he needs to have his head examined. He's sick. There's nothing you can think about it. He needs to see a psychiatrist. He's sick.
Do they accept that they are sick?
Most of them, they don't. They always say it is the devil. I've had an instance where a father raped her girl child, a child under the age of 16, and said he's doing atonement.
Atonement for whose sins? His own sins?
I don't know, or the family sins of the generations past. He's doing atonement for the girl.
Do they continue to try to be like a father? I mean, after raping your daughter, does she continue to call you daddy, or?
Well, you see...
Does the relationship continue?
From experience, from the cases I've seen, yes, they do. Because you see, most of the children, they don't know that it is bad for daddy to have done what he did. Because you see, when you have a 5-year-old, you have a 3-year-old, what does she know whether it is good or bad? A 3-year-old does not know that it is wrong for the father to have done it. So it is still daddy, 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 I love you, daddy, 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 and daddy. I've had a case where there was evidence that the girl had been fiddled with. The girl was, as at then, the girl was under the age of 10 with her siblings, her sisters. And immediately the man was called to the police station. The girl just flew and went to sit on the daddy's lap. Oh, daddy, 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 and daddy. Because she didn't know that what daddy was doing to her was wrong.
So who will bring that kind of report to you? You know, if she doesn't know?
At times, it could be a member of the family. It could even be the worried mother that knows, but doesn't want anybody to know that she came to report the husband. She's helpless as well. And the only way she could speak out is to silently come, you know,
make a report,
and then we now find a way of fine-tuning it to look as if we got the report from the public, from somebody else. We have cases like that. In this instant case that I was talking about, unfortunately, the mother of the children died. The youngest was about 4 months old. And the man, like I said, must have been, and he was trying to resurrect the dead woman, the wife. And we were called into the scenario, and that was what initially triggered it, that, oh, he never allows the children out, he never gave them Western education, he never allows the woman out. Even the 4 children, he was the one that actually brought the baby, did the midwife or being the doctor.
Well, he delivered the
delivered the babies in the room, all the babies. So when we got it, and I saw the way the children were too much wrapped up in him,
yes,
I became suspicious because of the experience I have.
Yes.
I can tell even when a child, the mannerisms and everything, that this child is disturbed, that this child has been fiddled with. I got suspicious that, look, there is more to it than the way these children are wrapping around this man too much. And we called in a doctor. And the doctor examined the 3 girls and said, oh, of course, the first girl, obviously. And we now had to start asking the girls questions, yes, digging deep. And we found out that, yes, when we want to pray, how do we pray? And then the child will say, oh, the daddy will come behind me and put his thing in and says, we are praying. The child doesn't know it is wrong. The child doesn't know it is wrong. The child thinks it is normal. That maybe that is what every daddy does in their homes. So it is not until you now bring it out to tell the child that, look, it is not normal for daddy to do this, that the child knows that it is wrong.
Do the children feel a sense of guilt sometimes, you know, when daddy is now arrested?
Yes, they do. Because why? People tell them that you are sending your daddy to prison, and then they say, oh, I don't want daddy to go to prison. So, you know, people blame the children. You know, part of the blaming that we were talking about, Angela, yes, earlier on. People now begin to blame the 3-year-old, begin to blame the 5-year-old. And even making the child to look naughty, that you told lies against daddy. But don't forget that children are innocent.
Yes.
A 3-year-old girl will not cook up such a story. A 3-year-old girl will not cook up a story that, yes, when that uncle wanted to go inside, he says he will buy me sweet. He gave me sweet. And then he takes something like a spray, like fleet, and fleet it inside my bum bum. A child won't make it up. A child is trying to, with that scenario, a child is trying to tell you that the man used something so that it's not painful.
Yes.
And then the next question is that, okay, when he now does, what does he put? He says, he puts his bum bum in my bum bum. And then you now say, when he put that spray thing, like looks like fleet, was it painful? The child says, no, I don't feel a thing. Then you begin to know that obviously he used something so that the girl doesn't feel the pain. A 3-year-old girl will not make up such story. A 5-year-old girl will not make up such story.
Would it surprise you to know that some people think pedophilia does not exist?
That is what I'm saying. They think it doesn't exist, but you and I know that it does exist. And that is why I'm saying that any man, if he has his sense, would take a 40-day-old baby, for crying out loud. What is attractive about a 40-day-old baby? What is attractive about a 6-year-old girl that would have enticed the man, yes, if not that the man is sick? So our society, I think it is about time that our society begins to admit that we have pedophiles amongst us.
You think the starting point, some people say, should be, first of all, our society should talk about sex.
Exactly. We should have to talk about sex openly. We have to talk about that, yes, we do have pedophiles. We shouldn't think that it is an abomination to talk about it. We shouldn't think that,
or it's something Western.
It's something Western. Or we shouldn't even think that it's an abomination for a girl to have been raped. The girl must have called for it. The girl must have called for it. She must have been wayward. She must have been saucy. Is a 10-year-old girl wayward? Is a 3-year-old girl wayward? Is a 40-day-old baby wayward?
So when the OPD says it is taking care of a child, yeah, a child brought in under those circumstances, for instance. What does that mean?
Number one, there's negligence on the part of the parents. And that is one thing that we really have to continue to talk about. Negligence on the part of a parent. Where were you when your 3-year-old girl was being defiled, raped? If you are a mother in the house and you notice that your husband, this is what your husband is doing, what are you doing about it as a woman?
Why do the women feel that they can't speak out if they see something like that within the
Angela,
house?
lots of things. They don't want to be seen as the person that sent their husband to prison. Probably because they are 100% dependent on the man. They know that if I'm sent out of this house, there's no way I'm going with the other children.
Yes.
There's no way I will be able to cope with these children. There's no way economically now. There's no how I'm going to get the food on the table. Who is going to send them to school if I send him to prison? So they would rather keep quiet.
And let him continue? And
let him continue. We've had instances where even the mother, immediately she finishes, they put the girl child on the bed for the father to continue. So when you see all these kind of things, and then when you now ask them, why allow it? They are intimidated, they are economically dependent on the man. The first thing they keep shouting is that, my husband's family is going to put my load on my head and send me out of the house. So they keep quiet. They would rather suffer in silence. And then they'll just tell the child to accept it as her fate. So, but we need to continue to sensitize women that you cannot keep quiet in such circumstances. Any man that does that to his own daughter is an animal. The man needs his head examined.
I'm distraught. Join us again after the break.
Who knows Abi better thing? Abi who no like better thing? All these fine things where they see so. Now money government they take do am now. Abi, I say, it's like, I mean, excuse me, I dey pay my tax. I dey do it, I dey pay my tax. Say you don't pay your own tax. Have you pay your tax?
Pay your tax. It's your civic responsibility. It's your duty. It's the law.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, it's 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajitumobi. On my hot seat today, Omotola Rotimi, the director of the Lagos State Office of the Public Defender. You know, I have this whole script
I know.
written here, but just listening to you, it's really sad.
It is sad. It is traumatizing. I'm telling you, it can be traumatizing. When you see those children physically,
yes, do they
looking
have
so
breasts?
helpless?
I mean, I'm trying to think of someone who rapes an 8-year-old. Did she have
Angela,
breasts?
Does a 2-year-old have breasts? Does a 40-day-old baby have? Does a 18-month-old baby have?
And how do you rape an 8-year-old and she's bleeding profusely, for instance?
I'm telling you, bleeding profusely. They bring them here, dripping blood. We have to take them to the hospital. Some they bring, it will probably have happened maybe about 2-3 days before, a week before, maybe they've gone to one hospital and then they now come to OPD to report the case. But we still take them back to the hospital the second time and ensure that a forensic head-to-toe forensic examination is carried out at the Mirabel Center in Lasuf.
Okay.
To ensure that the allegation meets what, the investigation.
Yes, you had previously complained about the lack of rape kits. Yeah. What exactly is a rape kit and why is it important to your work?
Yes, it is. Probably because I have a forensic background and I know that, you see, for you to be able to get enough evidence to get a conviction, there are some certain things you have to do.
Right.
Abroad, they usually have a rape kit. It consists of a cloth, scissors, nail cutter, comb, because you see they have to do head-to-toe forensic examination. From the hair, when you come out the hair, you come out the pubic hair, you are likely to get the hair of the suspect on the victim if it's still fresh.
Right.
And then you can use it for DNA. You are going to take swab samples. Right. So all the containers and the swab sticks and everything is contained in the rape kit.
Right.
Then you are likely to get the semen, the blood, the sweat, and you do a DNA. Where it is an adult and there is evidence of bites, maybe on the bust, on the bum, or any part of the body, then you get an odontologist to do a cast.
Teeth impression.
Teeth impression. What? And then with that, you can match it up with the suspect, if you have a suspect.
What do you mean bites? Bites on the breast and on the...
Yes, some people do, you know, during the, they do bite them. They bite them
to
in
calm
the
them
area.
Down. Yes.
Well,
maybe they are fighting back.
Yeah, they are fighting back, or they are doing all kind of, you know, maybe some of their kids, they beat them on the breast, they beat them on the bum. So you have the impression. And then in the nails, they cut the nails during struggle. Yes. The girl is likely to have some cells of the man in the under the fingernails. So you can use it for DNA. So there are lots of things, especially when the rape is fresh. Where there had been a penetration, yes, you can still get evidence within 7 days.
Do you get people here who have been freshly raped?
Yes, we do. That's why I said at times some people come in dripping blood. Then you know it is fresh.
Right.
At times, yes, they will have washed out evidence. But then, even when they wash away the evidence, you might still be lucky to still get 1 or 2 things during the forensic examination. And that is why, even when somebody tells you, we'll still take them to Mirabel Center to ensure that a complete forensic head-to-toe examination is carried out on the victim to ensure that, yes, we can still get some evidence to show. There could be lacerations, there could be abrasions, there could be anything, all forms of cuts or scratches and things like that, that would relate, that would tell the tale, you know, to support what the victim had told you.
Okay. Have you ever seen a situation where the parents come and say, "Na my pikin, mind your business"?
Oh, certainly. You find out that even at times when we are investigating this case, yes, along with the police and everything, and we are having progress 2 ways. Number one, because the suspects have promised them something, and due to poverty they compromise, right, and then they say, oh, after all, it's our case, and then they compromise, they collect 10,000 naira, 50,000 naira, and then they are going, you know, as far as they are concerned, they've been compensated. And then it could also be that the members of the family know that it was actually perpetrated by a member of the family. So in order to cover up, they don't want the police knowing, they don't want us knowing. In such instance, we do school them, we do sit them down and talk to them that, look, if you say you are allowing this person to go, know that as soon as it goes out of that door, he's going to continue doing it to other children. He's going to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it.
One of your observations that I read, I'm quoting you now, you said, for a biological mother and guardian to physically abuse children, we've noted that most of them are victims of physical abuse from their husbands, end of quote. So are you saying they transfer the aggression to the kids?
It is transferred aggression. The cases we've handled here,
yes,
you ask the mother, why inflict such pain on your child? And she says, I'm frustrated. Why are you frustrated? Me too. My husband is always beating me. I'm tired of being the breadwinner in the house. He's so stubborn. I've told him the last money I had, I spent buying him this plate, and then he broke the plate. And then, so you could see transferred aggression. You could see frustration written all over the woman. Yes. You could see that even the woman herself needs assistance, needs help. Right. Because I don't think a woman in her right thinking mind would actually say because her daughter broke a plate, yes, will now beat the child and actually use the pieces of the plate and inflict injury on the child. Or that a child has actually stolen a piece of meat from the pot, yes, and then you now put the 2 hands, dip it into hot boiling water and scar the girl for life.
For stealing meat. For
stealing meat. If you had fed the girl initially, the girl won't steal. For the girl to have stolen meat, the girl is hungry.
So what happens in that kind of situation? Will she continue to have a relationship with the parents?
In fact, the case we had to take the child and put the child in protective custody. As I'm talking, the child is in protective custody and we are prosecuting the mother.
Has the mother, was she remorseful?
Most times they pretend that they are remorseful so that they can easily get off the case, so that you can get off their back. But you could see that they are not really, really remorseful. It's very, very few of them. And then by the time they are remorseful, they always attribute it to all what I've told you and of course the devil.
Yes.
They don't know what got over them. They were just frustrated. And there are some of them that it is not a one-off thing. They have been abusing that child for a while. So people like that, they don't feel remorse. And they'll tell you that what is your business? Fashola didn't give birth to the child. I gave birth to my child. Yes. So I can do whatever I like with my child. Mini. So they are not remorseful. So the only thing is that you allow the law to take its course on people like that. When
you say you allow the law to take its course, do they agree that it's something the state can prosecute? I mean, don't they think if this is still on this is not your business thing?
Yeah, they still have that opinion that, well, it's not my business. When I get to court, I'll still tell the court that it is my child. I can do whatever I like with my child. Some will even go as far as telling you that is this Lagos State that is paying her school fees? Is it Lagos State that is feeding the child? What's your own? Is it Lagos State that is, they give you all this kind of stuff. Yes. And I will say, well, at least Lagos State can save the life of that child.
Yes, even if they're not feeding.
Even if they are not feeding. But Lagos State is there to save the life of the child. Yes. And we will take, and that child will still go to school, with or without you.
In your opinion then, and to clarify for those watching, what is domestic violence? What does it entail?
Angela, domestic violence, if I give you the definition, it's a long definition. It covers virtually everything, but it goes beyond physical hitting. Sexually abused, emotionally abused, verbally abused somebody. Especially children, when you keep telling a child that you are an idiot, you are stupid, you are an idiot, you are a fool. The child will say, yes, I'm sure I must have been a fool. And the child will tell you that, yes, I'm a fool. Because my daddy has said I'm a fool. Even women, when the husband is using abusive, unprintable words to qualify the wife, it's an emotional trauma for that person. It transcends to your driver, to your houseboy, to the cook, to your gardener, to anybody that works within your space. Yes. When you treat a house girl sharply, when you use unprintable words to qualify a house girl, you are abusing her verbally, traumatizing her. Even when you deprive somebody of food, somebody living in your space, in your home, and you deprive that person of food, a husband that deprives the wife of maintenance in the house, it is domestic violence. So it is not only the physical aspect. Even economically, you prevent a woman from working without her consent, you forced her, then it is domestic violence because you are making her economically, independent on you. You are removing her economic rights away from her. Then it is domestic violence as well. Yes. You don't send your child to school. It is part of these abuses, all forms of abuses that you can think of. So that's why I said it is actually a very long definition. Yes. But people just think, oh, it is when you assault me and I assault you, that is domestic. No. It goes beyond the physical beating.
I've heard some men say it's their right to beat their wives, and they don't even believe that a married woman can be raped.
Yes. I agree that our culture, religion, and culture has a lot to do with it. Some will even tell you that I'm buying this cane in the house so that I can keep my wife on check. Anytime she falls out of line, I whip her back to line. So they don't see it as anything bad because it's our culture. Especially men that grew up in a battered, violent family. Yes. They've seen their mothers being battered by their fathers. So they think it is the norm for a man to beat a woman. That is how I can show that I'm the man of the house. That is how I can show that you have to follow my directives. I'm in charge. I'm the boss. So a lot of our culture has to do with that.
Yes.
When a man is beating the wife, and even people observing around does not see anything bad in it.
They don't talk.
They don't talk. They think, oh, well, yes, she deserves it, or yes, you should keep your wife in check. And then they say, yes, you have to be submissive.
Yes.
Some people think that the only way that a woman can be submissive is to actually whip them and kick them and use them as a punching bag for them to be submissive.
Does Nigerian law recognize the rape of a married woman within the marriage by the husband?
No. Because even section 258
yes.
of the criminal law of Lagos State 2011 says that where a man and a woman are legally married,
yes.
then a man cannot be charged for rape.
Even if he forces?
Well, it doesn't go beyond that. And how we have been able to circumvent that area is
yes.
not necessarily preferring the charge of rape, but a charge of assault.
Assault, okay.
So that at least the woman still gets compensated one way or the other, that she's getting justice.
Join us again after the break.
Government wants our city to become a mega modern city. And so, government is providing modern markets for us to carry out our business. Now, this requires money. So, we need to pay our taxes to help government to help us. I pay my taxes. I hope you've paid yours. Pay your tax. It's your civic responsibility. It's your duty. It's the law.
Welcome back. My concluding moments now with Omotola Rotimi, the director of the Office of the Public Defender here in Lagos State. In my intro, I was talking about how the OPD was set up to provide free legal services. Does it mean that if I'm not poor, I can't come to the OPD? Must I be indigent or poor?
No, not necessarily. And that is why we have changed our slogan from being the defender of the poor to be the defender of the defenseless. There are some people that actually are caught up in the middle, especially when it comes to areas where you can actually mediate on a case. You find a rich man going to multi-door to have his case mediated on.
Why would he do that?
You know, not all cases are criminal cases. There are some cases that are actually civil. Maybe it's a case of breach of contract, and then I'm rich. We are talking of millions of nairas or billions of naira, and then they would rather, instead of going to court, they can say, okay, we can settle it by mediation or by arbitration. Let's go to multi-door.
That's the multi-door courthouse.
The multi-door courthouse.
Okay.
A poor man now, an indigent, will say, I will go to OPD. Or I'll go to Citizens Mediation Center to have my case. I don't have to go to court, but at least they can listen to both sides and they can provide solutions, you know, and then we can go home happily ever. But then you have some people that are caught in the net. They are okay in the sense that, yes, they are earning, for example, let's say 100,000 a month.
Yes.
And he has a litigation in court. Out of the 100,000, the lawyer is saying, I want 50,000 naira, 150,000 naira, or maybe 80,000 naira as my legal fee for this case. He has to pay medical bills. He has to pay rent. He has to pay school fees.
He has
to get to work. He has to put food on the table. So where does he go? He's defenseless, and yet he needs justice. He must access justice as well. They can come to OPD. The law allows us to use our discretion. So in such areas, we do use our discretion. A man earning 100,000, by the time he does all this, he's just as indigent as anybody else. Or that a man that has probably been earning maybe, let's say, 200,000 a month, and he loses his job. At this period in time, he's indigent because he doesn't have any means of income. So he has to come to OPD. There are even instances where even people can afford a lawyer, but they just come to us for a second opinion, just like you go to a doctor for a second opinion. And then we'll say, okay, fine, tell your lawyer to do this, tell your lawyer to do that. You can even bring your lawyer along to OPD, and we will give your lawyer
some ideas.
And where we can support,
So that tells me that you have lawyers in-house in this office.
Oh yes, we have about 68 lawyers in OPD.
Are they paid?
Of course. State Council, we have lawyers on contract, and of course we do have volunteers. And then at times we do have interns and externs, law school students, university students coming to see what we're doing and assisting as well.
If I want to come to the OPD, would I be required to pay any money?
No, it is free. Everything in OPD is free. All you have to do is just walk in, bring your petition.
Right.
Your petition that you've done is for reference, so that we can continue to monitor what we're doing.
Yes.
Some people actually do come in, they run in here as a matter of emergency.
Right.
We would still, you know, attend to them, and then they can always bring their petitions later on.
Right. Okay, so you can come in with your oral petition.
With your oral petition. Even some people phone us, you know, they go to our website, they write to us, and then they petition, and then we'll respond to them, and then we'll say, okay, you can now come over, let's see you, let's talk to you, and things like that. And then we do get referrals as well. We get referrals from the courts, we get referrals from even the police, we get referrals from hospitals that will say, look, a girl was just brought in now and she's badly damaged. She's been raped or she has been physically abused by the mother or whatever. I think OPD should take up this case.
Will the parents know that the hospital has
Yes, because we will tell the hospital that you don't release the child. There was another case of a girl who sells some things with the mother, I think pap.
Yes.
And then because the mother was really angry with her, beat the girl, you know, threw the girl on the ground. The girl broke, you know, in the process, her hands were broken. They took her to a traditional this thing. Some people now had to take the girl to the orthopedic hospital, and the girl's hands had to be amputated. So we now had to step in at that time when we got to know to say, there's no way you are going to release this child back to this woman.
To the same woman.
So we had to put the girl in protective custody.
This office here is like three floors, four floors. Why do you need all these floors for the office of the OPD?
Because we have lots of people. I will tell you that just from January till today, as I'm talking to you, we have received 883. As at before I spoke to you, I don't know how many have come in since we started now, but as at this morning before I started talking to you, we had 883 cases just between January and today. Last year alone, we did well over 7,000 cases. So this place is a beehive of activities every day. So in fact, we even need more floors as it is now. I'm telling you, because we are just growing by the day. People are bringing in complaints by the day, and there are lots of innovations that we ourselves we are seeing, and we are thinking, oh, I think we need to add this. I think we need to add that, and we are expanding.
Because I can see that you have counseling rooms.
Yes, we have a special victims unit room where cases of children that we've been talking about, we don't want to expose them. We want to put them in a friendly environment. And even women that have been battered, they don't want everybody listening to their story. So we have to do it in a conducive, friendly, relaxed atmosphere, in a conducive room where they can actually speak out their minds to us. And then, you know, and then we take it up from there.
Okay.
And then even most of the time we call it the silent room. There are some things that they tell us that does not leave that room. Yes, it is strictly confidential, and we know how to now use it when we are handling the matters. There are times that even when it comes to a case of husband and wife, the woman doesn't really want to say everything in front of the husband. So we take her into that room, we separate them, and then we get a lot of information that we need. And then we don't say, your wife told us this, or says this. We know how to use the information and manage the information that we have to.
I know you're an agency under the Ministry of Justice.
Yes.
So is it the ministry that funds all your
Lagos State government? We have our own budget, so it is Lagos State government that does the funding. Okay. And they've been good to us.
You can't complain.
Yes.
But you all who are employed here, you are civil servants.
Yes. And like I told you, we are civil, not all of us. Okay. We have staff that are employed by Office of the Public Defender on its own, as the law allows us to employ. We have project officers, lawyers that are on contracts. Yes. So their funding, I mean, their salaries come from Office of the Public Defender from our budgets.
Right.
So it comes from our subvention, really. So it is still, all in all, still Lagos State government. One thing again that I can tell you, that I have to tell you, Angela, is the fact that Lagos State government is also encouraging private chambers, actually doing pro bono services with Lagos State government.
Right.
So the Office of the Attorney General is actually handling that, where even if there are some cases that we think that maybe it's too much for OPD or we have a lot on our hands, and then we refer such cases, and then we have some chambers. They can't come here, but they are willing to do the case, to help, to do the cases pro bono. So we refer such cases. They tell us their interest, and then, you know, the portfolio of the chambers, and then the Attorney General would forward such cases to them.
So if there are any lawyers watching us now who want to help the OPD, where do they head to? Is it the Attorney General's office or here?
They can come here. They can write an application to say they want to help, that their chambers is interested, or they could, you know, send the application to the Attorney General. Whatever application we get here, I still forward with my recommendation to the Attorney General. You've
also said that it's sometimes a challenge to prosecute some of the criminal cases that you get.
Yes.
What are these challenges that you face?
The challenges are diverse.
Yes.
The challenges in the sense that sufficient evidence. And now, in our new law, because OPD law is going through overhauling now.
Right.
The OPD Lagos State, we are trying to bring it up to raise the bar to up to international standard, where we will have our own set of investigators. So the law now has to be amended to accommodate that. For instance, you bring in a pathologist. Somebody has been charged for murder.
Yes.
I should be able to bring my own pathologist to counter whatever that one had said. I should bring in a pathologist to say, look, not a pathologist, but maybe even a doctor, a psychiatrist, to say, as at the time this person committed this crime, there is evidence that he's of unsound mind.
Yes.
And things like that. We should be able to also investigate and not rely on the investigation by the police for the prosecution. We should be able also to investigate. If you have witnesses, we should have access to those witnesses to say, look, I understand that you said you saw Mr. A break into this room.
Yes.
I should be able to ask questions before trial, just like it operates in other jurisdictions.
Yes.
So that what we are saying, that fair trial and fair hearing is exactly what we have, and not just only fair hearing and no fair trial. That even would now encourage plea bargaining. Because by the time we see all this, and we also investigate, and we see that, look, hey, he has committed this crime, but maybe there is a reason or whatever, let's plea bargain for a lesser sentence. We don't waste the time of the courts.
Justice is faster.
Justice is faster and everything, and then we can quickly plea bargain that, look, okay, instead of armed robbery, conspiracy to commit a felony or something like that, and then you go for a lesser charge, or instead of armed robbery, stealing. Because we know that definitely he didn't pull a gun on you. You only said it because you wanted, and it's obvious. We don't have to go to court to start proving that. We can now remove the issue of you alleging armed robbery, because we all knew that there was no armed robbery. But then we know there was a stealing. So we now agree to that stealing. And then we plea bargain to stealing. So it is faster, it is cheaper, and it decongest the courts as well.
And the OPD resolves disputes through non-litigation process.
Yes, we do adopt the ADR mechanism, the alternative dispute resolution mechanism. You notice that all along I've been talking about mediation, reconciliation, and things like that. We do that a lot. We actually encourage that. That is even the first step. It is only when a crime has been committed, there's nothing we can do. That area will have to, you know, it will have to follow due process. But where it is a case of husband and wife now, just like in the case of domestic violence, we are not interested in separating husband and wife if it's not necessary. If we can still bring them together, talk to them, and probably refer them for counseling and things like that, and they can still make up, why not? And then all the man has to do is now do a settlement agreement to say, I will never lay my hands on my husband or my wife again. If I do it again, take me to court. And we've been able to resolve laws. We've been able to mend so many marriages like that and things. So,
on a final note, You mentioned earlier the criminal code, and I thought about all the things you've listed under the office of the
public
OPD.
defender.
Would you say that the criminal code as it is now takes care of all these things adequately?
Yes, especially this amended Administration of Criminal Justice Law 2011 and the Criminal Justice Law of 2011. Both laws have actually taken care of a lot of the loopholes that we had in before, the challenges that we had with the law. For instance, now the rape. Let me bring the rape again. You know, there was a time when rape, the law says that it must be within 2 months. So it means that after 2 months, the police will tell you, hey, you are coming back 6 months after. There's nothing I can do.
It's too late.
It's too late. But now, there's no limitation of statute. It's not limited. Even if it's 10 years, so far you can identify. And you know, we are now moving with the global world where we also do DNA now. So if the suspect is there and we were able to have some samples and DNA was done, we can pick up the offender anytime. So the law has actually been amended and it is better now. So most of the challenges we are having with the law, we no longer have it. Even in the cases of defilement before, it was not life imprisonment. But we are happy now that it is now life imprisonment.
Oh, it's life imprisonment if you defile a child.
Yes, now even if you rape a child rape a girl or a woman, it is life. If you defile a child now, it is life. Before it was just about 7 years before.
Life imprisonment.
So it is now life. So we are happy with it. Even the domestic violence law and everything has assisted a lot. Even the child rights law has assisted a lot. So because we have all these tools, you know, we are able to now work better than we used to before. We are more effective.
Would you say that you're getting more convictions now for rape?
Yes, we do. The conviction rate is still low because of all the issues we have discussed earlier on, but it is better because now we are going forensic. Now we have a Mirabel Center that can do a forensic examination head to toe of a victim, and then we can collate evidence. Now we are assisting the police to collate evidence. We are assisting Mirabel and everybody. We are telling the Mirabel to please assist the police in preserving evidence. Unlike before, we don't have all these things. The doctors in Lassus, they are doing a tremendous job. They now assist Mirabel in quickly getting all these things together. And another thing that we are even trying to do now, if possible, is to have a fast track for sexual offenses. So that there is a fast track for it, so that you do it quick, and then people notice that, know that yes, now maybe within few months, I can actually get justice if I'm raped.
Okay. Mrs. Rotimi, I want you to talk now directly to the viewers. There are girls watching us who have been raped or defiled. You know, some girls 13, they can use a phone. Is there a phone number? Tell them what to do if there's anything, if they're watching and anything has happened to them, they need help. What is the next step to take?
What I will tell the girls at home is that feel free to come to OPD. If you know of a friend that had been raped or sexually assaulted or violated in any way, and the girl cannot speak out, please encourage the girl to come. You can come on behalf of your friend. You can even send us anonymous phone calls. You can send us, I'm going to give you the phone number, it's toll free. You can walk in, and anything you tell us is confidential. One thing is that we never tell, if the petitioner does not want us to mention his or her name, we keep silent, we make it confidential. Nobody has to know that you are the one that gave us the report. And we will know what to do. We will go there, we will rescue the girl. We will assist her in getting any medical attention that she needs. Any form of assistance that she needs, we will assist. So please feel free to the ladies out there, please feel free to use OPD, come to OPD, phone OPD, text OPD, Google OPD, and just bring your complaints to OPD. We will assist you in getting justice. And I'm going to just quickly tell the phone number. It is toll free. It is 24 hours service. It is 070 80 60 601080. I'm going to repeat it. 07080601080. You call, we'll get your complaint and we'll ask you to come down. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Rotimi, for having me in your office. I know you've had a really busy day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's it for this week. Don't forget to like 60 Minutes with Angela on Facebook. Alternatively, you can follow me on Twitter, Angela at 60 Minutes. I'm Angela Ajitumobi. I thank you for the pleasure of your company.